Hello and welcome to the 21st episode of the SaintsPrime Podcast. It's with me, Ollie.
Harry.
Jambo. Mikey.
There we go. Awesome. Got that seamless as always.
Nailed. First time.
First time.
The first take, people here. So,
We love
Harry,
doing the first take, don't we,
we
guys?
do. We're just so good at it. That's
I mean, questions first, like
Yeah, go.
usual.
Yeah.
And
The usual.
first at 96. I'm an aerospace engineer. What exactly do you want to get into when you are done? One question answers Mikey, Ollie, Jamie, then me. Go.
What, in aerospace or their own fields?
Anything. What do you
What
want to
anything.
do?
I think the question is just ask us what we do.
I think it's generally just for me, but if you guys want to give what you want to do afterwards, then go for it. But keep it brief.
I want to get into football.
Nice.
Yeah,
I want to be a
fair play.
film producer.
Nice.
Football journalist for me.
Okay, I just want to be an aerospace engineer. There you go. Afterwards.
Decent. Right.
Sorted.
Dan Hurst at 96. Second question. Did Ralph mess up the starting team against Bournemouth? We kind of did this last time, but we'll quickly go over it.
Mhm.
I think yes. What do you think? You three think? And if you want to know the full answers, go back to the previous podcast.
I think it's slight. Yeah, basically, he messed up.
Yeah, I think so. I agree with that. A little bit.
Solid answers. Snaily B. He asks, at what point did we get worried that Che isn't banging them in? He's doing a good job for the team. So he's probably saying he's doing a good job for the team, but should we be concerned that he's not scoring the goals as a striker?
I think a little bit.
I think that's the worst voice rank ever.
A tiniest bit, but at the same time, he's doing very well off the ball, like making lots of runs, that sort of stuff. A bit like Shane Long, like a great player.
Yeah.
How he just does a lot off the ball, and you may not notice it as much. I think you do notice it when he's not playing, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's well summed up. But
Thank
how
you.
many games do you think it will be until A, he scores, or B, until you're worried that he's not scoring?
Not sure. I doubt it's.
I would say that it doesn't matter as long as other people are scoring if he's not scoring. Like, if goals start drying up, then there's a problem. Then you have to try something different. But as long as the system's working and he's creating chances and he's getting into the positions at least, then I think that would be okay. Because that's not his only job, is scoring goals. It's one of the important ones. But he creates space in behind. He presses the back line. He does a lot of stuff for the team. So
Yeah, I think he provides a presence as well. The thing is, strength is something we don't really have up front. So something like that, if he could kind of fine tune that a little bit more and soak up the pressure when we need it, and then have our poachers and goal scorers for the goals, then he can work on his confidence for finishing and things like that. Possibly in the second season, maybe after January or something, and working it through that way, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Right, the final question. Nate564. Why can't Saints create goals other than just gassing it in to put pressure on the goalkeeper? Who's going to answer this one?
Firstly, big up Nathaniel Clark, my guy. ICT legend.
Sure.
Kind of forgotten the question now, but
Brilliant.
yeah, I can
Why
understand.
can't we
I can hear the
why
question
can't-
because Ollie and Jamie just go, "Oh yeah, big up."
Basically, why can't we create chances and score goals apart from really when Danny Ings puts pressure on the goalkeeper? Why can't we create high percentage XG chances without
we do,
Danny
don't we?
Ings?
Did he not
with
see
a
the?
fourth bias or something?
Yeah, did he not
for
see
like
the?
actual good chances created. We
Don't shoot the messenger. I'm asking
Okay,
the
no
question.
worries, no worries.
Nathaniel, did you watch the Pompey game? 1-4-0. Don't know about.
But I think we can create the chances.
Side, you know,
I think it will just come. I think we are kind of a relative. We keep changing the side because we don't really have like a. If you had to name the starting 11 for the next side, we don't have a 100% starting 11 in every single field. You know, Cedric's starting to come back with it now. But you said this last season. You'd think Valerie was nailed on for number one, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
At right back, something like that. But it's all being changed at the moment. So I think once we find the winning formula and settle down, we should start seeing those goals and those understanding between players come in a lot more.
Yeah, I think it's not about not creating chances. I think it's more about the clinical sort of side of the game. I see Yoshida really probably should have scored the header against Tottenham. Ward-Prowse is unlucky from a 30-yard free kick, so there's not much you can ask about that. But normally we are creating a good, like a solid amount of chances. I look at the game against Tottenham, and although they obviously did win in the end 2-1, it's not like we didn't create that that many chances. Looking at the match statistics, as I quickly get it up, yes, they had 10 men, and we're going to go on to the game a bit later and review of it. But we still had 14 shots compared to their 9. Dominated possession had 6 shots on target with 6 corners. Like, we're still getting the chances. It's just always about that clinical edge, and us defensively lets us down really most of the time.
Yeah. I think anything to add, Mike?
I just think we miss a creative midfielder in the 3. If we do play a 3 from Mayo, Højbjerg, Ward-Prowse, we've got 2 engines and a ball winner. We don't really have that creative spark in there. When Boufal or Redmond's playing in the hole, then we've got someone who can do something out of nothing. But that would involve us playing a 4-2-3-1 instead of a 4-3-3, and then that would just mix everything up. So it's whatever system Ralph wants to play, but at the moment we don't have someone who can drive with the ball, who can like pick out a long.
Well, we had both Boufal and Redmond playing against Tottenham, so
yeah.
What was the kind of issue you saw there?
I think the issue was that we were quite an unbalanced side with Ward-Prowse at right wing back. Yeah. Tottenham exploited the left hand side a lot.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have a right back with Valerie on the bench.
That annoyed me that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Let's move on to that Tottenham game then. Okay. Looking at the lineup, you see Cedric gets injured in the warm up. You think, surely enough,
I'll right back on the bench. Let's put him.
Valerie's going to come in. No, let's switch the formation. Let's put Vestergaard as centre back. Switch it up to a 3. And put Ward-Prowse as right wing back. What do you think the thinking behind that was? Because now it seems like, although he used to trust Valerie a lot, he's not even going to put him at right wing back to start anymore.
I assume probably there was. Sorry to cut you off, Mike. I assume there must have been some sort of some sort of tactic they must have wanted to implement against Tottenham. That I guess must have been an individual tactic that they haven't done normally. Now, whether it's Ward-Prowse more familiar with the style, maybe he was playing in that midfield area and knew what the game plan was, or maybe he just doesn't trust Valerie. It might be one of those 2 options. Go on, Mike.
Yeah. I don't think he doesn't trust Valerie. I think that because when Cedric got injured, it was under an hour before kickoff, so Ralph could see the team that he was going to play against, and he saw Eriksen and he saw Son and he saw Kane, and thought, no, we need 3 centre backs here, just to give us a little bit more strength at the back.
Yeah.
Did you argue?
I don't think it's him not trusting Valerie. I think it's him wanting to be a bit more solid in the game.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's fair.
I don't know. Do you reckon that affected our game plan then? That's why we have a bit of a shaky start.
Well, obviously, yeah.
Where the whole Cedric thing.
You have a team sheet probably by the start of the week, and you work with that whole team to try and create a game plan for the actual game that you play. And as soon as it goes out the window, 50 minutes before kickoff.
That's what I'm thinking. If you have Valerie on the bench, surely him and Cedric are not different of players realistically. Both do. And why wouldn't he come into the pitch rather than changing up the whole formation? So I think there's something else going on with Valerie.
I don't think it is. I don't think it is. I just think that he saw the fact that Spurs have gone with a really strong squad, and that he just wanted to be safe and put Vestergaard in there basically to win the headers over Kane, which he did for the majority of the game.
Yeah.
Well, first half.
I think the main problem that we had there is we had James Ward-Prowse at right wing back, and that really, really hurt us because Son just ripped into pieces left, right, and centre. And then it's still good having 3 at the back, but if they get down the wing, that gives them a free amount of space just outside the 18-yard box. So I'd have been more comfortable sticking with that 4 back and getting an not experienced right back, but a natural right back to actually play his role in a system that, like Jamie said, that we would have played a week. Yes, I know that they're professional footballers and we have that. We would have played that system at some point in the game, but considering that for a whole week we would have built up to that formation, and I know you said that they looked at Tottenham's lineup, but if you think about it, like I said, we got a natural team. They know the team we're going to come up against. The 3 attackers was Kane, Heung-min Son, and Eriksen, and I don't know how that would change from what they were expecting in the first place.
That's just because Eriksen's been out of favour for a little bit, so he might not have been starting. Ali could have come back in and been a different player there. Like, you don't. I completely agree with the fact that Valerie should have gone in at right back. I don't know what system we were going to play, but I would happily had Valerie in to replace Cedric like for like. But if Ralph thinks Ward-Prowse can do a right wing back role, then that's fine. And this is just what he's done.
Yeah.
Like, he wouldn't have done it due to the fact that he wanted us to make mistakes or lose or something like that. This is like the chance that he thought that would be the best to win.
Well, obviously, he's not going to make us. It was just,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's not like how, I don't know. The thing is, the long story short is Tottenham lost 7-2 against Bayern Munich, so who's one's laughing now?
Well, do we want to? So we've done the team sheet. Do we want to go through kind of as things happen? So first goal was in
Ndombele.
Yeah.
To be fair,
I have watched the game. Okay?
Yeah.
Do you think Angus Gunn should have done better?
Yeah, I'm not too sure he's expecting it to come straight at him, because from that angle, you probably would have thought
as a goalkeeper, they're not expecting shots.
Yeah, but the thing is, but do you know what I mean, though? From where he was,
I know what Jamie means.
In the middle.
Yeah,
wasn't really expecting.
It should be kind of like, he's setting himself, but if it's coming straight at him, you would expect him to be able to get something in front of it, because that's kind of a given, really.
Yeah, I think Ralph said the same as well.
The problem is straight at him. So if I mean the place down the left hand side, like we talked about, Ward-Prowse probably wasn't tight enough, and Ndombele was a free runner from midfield, not picked up by any of the three in there. And
did it take a deflection at all?
I don't think it did.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't see a deflection on the replay. I think Gunn just let it through his hands.
Yeah.
Which is not good enough if you're like wanting to be a first team keeper. I saw on Twitter the shots at you.
Yeah.
I saw on Twitter that some people were saying if McCarthy wasn't injured, they'd like to see him given a chance in that game after his performance against Portsmouth. Would you agree with that?
No.
I think it's too much. We already complained about too much chopping and changing, and I think a goalkeeper is just as important. I mean, although it's nice to think we can swap them out, but we've had problems like that in the past about three keepers all not performing, and I think if we can try and keep one thing stable, we know Gunn's got good saves in him, and I think just try and keep it, unless he has a string of really bad performances, just show some faith in him and keep him in the team.
Yeah, because it was up to that point he had kept 3 clean sheets. He was doing really well. He wasn't really making errors as well. This is probably the first one he's had this season. Yeah. So I'd like to see us stick with Gunn for the next game against Chelsea as well.
Yeah. I think Gunn's got a higher ceiling for potential and has a better long-term future with us as well. So I think we'd rather stick with him, because at the end of the day, I think Gunn will make more appearances this season than McCarthy will. So I think it'll be better to stick with him.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay, so first goal, and then Aurier gets 2 yellow cards in the space of about 5 minutes.
Do you think it was justified?
Yeah.
I mean,
they're both silly challenges, really, weren't they?
The first one was a silly yellow card. The second one, the second one was a yellow as well. They're 2 yellow cards. They're not.
But most refs would probably give a final warning and say you're close. But fair play to the ref. He just said these are both yellow card challenges. The
problem is Bertrand was through on that left hand side.
Yeah. We
would have created a chance from it, and it is a bookable offence. He pulled him back, obstructed him, and it's a bookable offence.
Yeah.
I think Aurier's quite a poor right back for the Premier League. I don't think he's up to standard. I think that sort of sloppy play. I wasn't say I was too shocked. It did get me -2 fantasy football points, so I wasn't too impressed. Yeah. But it's what you come to expect. But that gave us a chance in the game.
Yeah.
At that
so
point,
we're 1 minute. I'm just looking at it now. 31 minutes in, he gets his red card. So. Then Danny Ings closing down like he always does, tricks Lloris into a mistake and puts it in the back of the net. So it's 1-1 at this point with 5 minutes before the end of the half. At this point, it's looking promising, isn't it?
It's the second goal that Danny Ings has scored like that as well this season. Yeah,
exactly. It's definitely paying off.
Third if you include pre-season.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
He's doing. Yeah, he's doing his research.
What were we feeling here then? Obviously, a man up. We've got it back to a draw. Obviously, it's looking positive. But how are you guys feeling at this point?
It was positive.
I was quite optimistic about Tottenham.
Yeah.
I thought we'd get back into it and have a real like run at it. And I honestly thought we would win at that point. So we get a goal back. We do push a little harder rather than sit back and try and wait for a draw, which we normally used to do. So I thought, anyway, get back into this. But then I guess Harry Kane.
Yeah. So just before
the showed the quality that they needed with the 3 good players they have on the pitch in Kane, Son, and Eriksen. They just showed what a 3 they could be.
Yeah, and they just immediately bounced back just before the half, which is kind of the exact thing you don't want. You know, you look like you've got you think if we got into half time 1-1 going out for the second half with a man up and start trying to attack them and going for that second goal, it looks immediately so much more promising. But yeah, they bag a goal just before half time, and then they're going into the changing rooms 2-1 down, and then you've got to face a whole half of trying to get back into it, and obviously they're going to set up defensively. And that's probably where the game changed probably the most for me, where that goal just before half time.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. Yeah. After that, we didn't really create any high percentage chances, be that in the first half or the second. There's a couple. There's one with the corner, like we said earlier, but apart from that, a 30-yard free kick, you're never really going to score because the keeper has so much time to get across, even though it was a great save. And as much as we pushed, and Tottenham did hold that barricade of like 2 walls of 4, we just couldn't break it down. We didn't have the quality to break a team like Tottenham down, which is frustrating, especially due to the fact that they hadn't been on great form, and obviously they just shows that they're not playing very well at the moment. Obviously they got battered by Bayern. So it's frustrating, but then again they were Champions League finalists just last season. They are one of the best teams in the past couple seasons, and it just shows how far we've come to get annoyed that we've not taken anything out of one of the league's or Europe's best teams.
Yeah, that's true. Is there anything else that you guys want to kind of talk about? So obviously the second half wasn't really that.
I know, just like that game is annoying. Well, Prowse shouldn't be playing right wing back. That's end it.
It's just a little bit. I mean, it's frustrating because we still seem to have the elements. For the last 3 seasons, we haven't been able to break down teams when we've got the ball. We have to let them have the ball and win it. Like this is the reason why Hassan neutral systems work, because we don't have possession a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Because we win the ball up high and try and play direct from that. But under Hughes and Pellegrino, we haven't had a player that can do something out of nothing, on a consistent basis. So I know he's a hard player to find, but we seem to find it in Gineppo, at the moment.
Yeah, so you got to say that, and it'd be interesting to see if he's available for the Chelsea game or if he's still going to be injured.
I think he's going to be injured for an extended period of time.
I think he is. Yeah.
From what his social medias have been saying, it doesn't seem too good, and it's unfortunate that we've put so many eggs in one basket now to a player that's so bright, who's only just come. And now he's going to be such a key player. We've lost him, sadly.
We do it with pretty much every signing that starts off well. Gabbiadini, he scored 4 and 3 or something like that, and then turned into a god. And then he had a very similar scoring record to Shane Long, and yet people are still saying that Gabbiadini is the best striker at the club. We do it to lots of players, and I hope that it doesn't happen to Gineppo, that he comes back from his injury and he's nothing like the player that he has been. Yeah. But. And I'm saying that after 3 decent performances that he's had.
It's just the promise that he shows. It's not like he scored 2 goals and he's not played well before that. He had 3 to 4 good games with contributions, and sadly he got injured. But that's the way football works.
Yeah.
But do you think Boufal can fill that void that he's leaving? That he's left.
Boufal's too inconsistent. I think it's either in January, in January or next summer, we need a centre back who can be commanding at the back and be a proper leader, because we're lacking that at the moment. Yoshida does it a little bit, but he's not completely he's not good enough ability wise to be a centre back at the Premier League.
But do you think sorry to cut you off, but to a certain extent, how much of a commanding centre back can you actually purchase? Because you look at the previous people that we've bought people like Hoyd and Vestergaard, but on the surface you think they could be a commanding centre back. We put out 15-20 million for these players, and I'm wondering whether it's a trait that you will buy with a player or if it just comes with confidence.
I think it comes with confidence, but I also think it needs to be. I think Ralph needs to establish a leader in that back three, or back four, like someone who will actually. Because Bednarek is probably the closest we're going to get to a player that can be a captain, a leader in that back four. Yeah. So I think Ralph needs to go to him and tell him, you have the responsibility to command this back four. Yeah. You have to do it because he's going to be the one that's going to be playing week in, week out.
Well, that's what I quite like to see. I don't know, we'll move on to it in a minute, but I would quite like to see Yoshida keep his place in the team. Yeah. I know at home we probably prefer to go to a 4 rather than a 5, but I think Yoshida has probably been the most consistent so far out of our centre-backs. It seems like Vestergaard either has a very good game or a poor game. And I think Bednarek has had good performances, but I think Yoshida has been very solid at the back and provides that bit of captaincy in the back four. I know Højbjerg's our leader for the whole team, but I do think Yoshida's probably the most experienced, and for the age he is and the performance that we're still getting from him, I think we should try and utilise him while we still can.
I think we should play him and Bednarek, so then he can also teach Bednarek's leadership quality, how get some good experience from him.
Yeah, the only thing is, I don't know who I drop. I guess I probably would drop Vestergaard, but I feel like it'd almost be quite harsh to do that because he has been having good performances, and I don't know whether I'd like to see Yoshida stay in the side, but whether it's better to keep Vestergaard playing while he's still on good form, I don't know. I think that's the difficult one.
Shall we end talking about the Tottenham game? Tottenham game's finished. Move on to the Chelsea game.
Okay, yeah, sure.
My only problem with Vestergaard being dropped for the Chelsea game is the fact that Tammy Abraham's 6'5", and the form that he's currently on. Like, we struggle to defend balls into the box with just Bednarek and Yoshida. Yeah. So I would quite like a 6'6" lad against a 6'5" lad in our box, especially with the way that Chelsea plays.
I didn't think about that, to be fair. Yeah, that's a good point.
To be fair, Vestergaard only played last week because of an injury. He would have been dropped for the Tottenham game. So I think that is in Ralph's mindset if Cedric comes back in. But to be fair, I wouldn't mind seeing Danso actually play his position as a centre-back in the Premier League to see how he does. Because in the Prem, he's only played as a wing-back, left-back, right-back. Against Fulham, although they weren't playing a very strong side, to say the least, probably a League One level, he did dominate, to be fair. I know he got booked early on and he got caught out, but we got him for a reason, because we needed defensive reinforcements. And why not use him, I say, especially when we're not.
I agree. I do want to see him playing at the back, and I do want to see what he's able to do. However, I think at our kind of defensive frailties at the moment, it'd always be nicer to see him play maybe in a 5 away from home. You think if it's going to be a scrappy game and we can have 2 people next to him just to try and stop if there is any kind of uncertainties there, there's 2 other people there as well. Whereas I think at home, 4 at the back, if it doesn't go right, which, newly introduction to that position, if it doesn't go right, we could be severely punished for it. And I know, go on.
Yeah, I think that's fair, but I take the risk because there's never an easy game in the Premier League, and if you chuck players into the deep end, it shows you what they're made of. And I think if we give them a go there and it works, so I don't think we've really got anything to lose because we're not defending well at the moment. So if we just chuck someone else in that's new, there's not much we can lose from it, especially against a team that's free attacking, but also they are free attacking, so they're going to get a lot of attacks. So we are going to concede, I believe, against Chelsea. It's just about outscoring them.
Harry, where's your belief gone?
Did I say we're going to win? Did I say we're going to lose?
You meant optimism, Titard.
Yeah, I always thought you were the optimistic one.
Well, we've scored them. Well, Chelsea haven't Chelsea haven't kept a clean sheet away from home this season, and we've scored 16 games in a row at home. So it's going to be a high-scoring game, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I go into the Chelsea game with quite a bit of confidence because they've played midweek. They had to try hard against Lille as well to get victory. Lille gave
Jose
them
Fonse gave him a brilliant game.
Yeah, and I because they are weak defensively. They do have holes. Like Lampard's teams are known for not being great defensively, but being quite good offensively. So as long as we can keep like a decent back foot, if Vestergaard has another one of his performances like the one against United, I think we could have Chelsea.
And I'm just looking at the team sheet that they had against Lille. They had Abraham up front, Mount, Willian, Kante was playing in midfield, Jorginho, Alonso's at left back, Zuma, Aspilicueta. They had a pretty much full team
strong
out.
Squad, yeah.
So there probably will be a little bit of rotation there, to be honest. It'd be interesting to see how they line up and how they come into the game. But yeah, we'll see how it goes.
It'd be interesting to see if Hudson-Odoi starts as well.
I think he came on substitute, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. So he could be a game changer in the game.
Yeah.
To be fair, Pulisic wasn't even in the squad, but he's not got that many minutes recently, so I don't know.
Yeah,
the man, the myth, the legend, Olivier Giroud.
Okay.
The thing is, looking at their bench, that's a pretty dangerous bench. They've got Pedro, Batshuayi, Giroud, Christensen, Hudson-Odoi, then Kovacic.
Yeah.
Only Hudson-Odoi out that lot. I'm actually concerned. Maybe Giroud as well.
Giroud lost goal
I don't.
against us.
Yeah, but I don't think Giroud will play any more than 20 minutes. That doesn't mean he can't get 4 goals in that time.
More than 20 minutes a lot of the time. Still managed to score 4 goals against us a couple of years ago.
So we've kind of talked about people coming in and out. If we had to try and make a starting 11 of what we'd like to see, how do you think we'd start it? Is Gunn going to stay in goal?
I'd keep Gunn in goal.
I'd want it.
Yeah.
Okay. So we reckon are you lot saying playing a 4 at the back then?
I'd want us to, but I don't
Yeah.
necessarily think
I'd
we
rather
will.
play Bednarek, Danso and Yoshida at the back, and have Bertrand left wing back and Cedric right wing back if he's back in from injury or not. Because I put him into my fantasy team for next week. Then an hour later, I see he gets injured in the warm up.
Yeah.
It's a bit unfortunate.
It depends whether Cedric's fully back for the game or not. I mean, there's a picture of him online with one of those compression boots on. So, do you reckon he's going to call Valerie up, or do you reckon he's going to do his?
Who knows? I think Ralph knows, so we're not going to know.
I think Ralph finds it incredibly difficult trying to drop one of Højbjerg, Ward-Prowse and Romeu.
Yeah.
Because Romeu's played really well this season, and he's something that we don't have. Højbjerg's obviously the captain, and Ward-Prowse is probably the most creative midfielder we have, like central midfielder. So I think he finds it really difficult to drop one of the 3, and that's why I think that if we do play 5 at the back, Ward-Prowse will play at right wing back again.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to be fair.
Valerie being brought in. And that's why I prefer us to play 4-3-3 and stick Valerie at right back, play Bednarek and Yoshida as a 2.
Yeah. Bednarek and Yoshida. Yeah, to be fair.
It looks so much more balanced with players playing in their actual
with the amount of goals that Chelsea concede away from home, I'd hope we would play a 4 at the back to try and get some more attacking players. So if I was going to say it, I would want 4 at the back. So I know probably if we were going to guess what's going to happen, it might be 5. But if we say let's 4 at the back, that's what we want to see. So the centre-back pairing you said, Mikey, was Bednarek and Yoshida. And I'd agree with that. I want Yoshida to stay in. Harry, what would you say?
Yeah, I just want Bednarek and Danso, but I think it would be Bednarek and Yoshida.
Danso and Yoshida all the way.
Danso?
Bednarek.
Yes, 100%. Danso needs more experience. I think Chelsea's a good way to throw him in as well.
But it'd be good to get some, to solidify the defence as much as we can, try and pick up some points, and when we're in a more comfortable position, then start rotating.
But then if you do that, then that breaks it in the first place. What you're trying to build, you're trying to build solidity, and then when you change it when you're winning, I'd rather build for the future in what we've got in our defence already in Danso.
We've already come off the back of a loss. You think if the results go the wrong way, we could be nearing the bottom of the league again, and that's something we want to be avoiding. I think. Especially against Chelsea, who can score goals, don't we want to try and have a centre-back pairing that's less, I don't know what I'm looking for, but yeah, you know what I mean. Something not as dangerous.
So you're looking for a less dangerous defence by putting Yoshida in there.
What's wrong with Yoshida?
He
hasn't. Has he made a clear-cut mistake this season?
Yes.
Yes, he makes at least
every
one
goal we've conceded when he plays.
He makes at least one a game.
But I think he provides experience. I think he's a good player to have in the back four. There'll be a shaky moment at the start of the game, but I think when he actually plays and he's in a good pairing, I think he has good games. And he's solid. Yeah, go on. What do you want to say?
I should stick my hand up like in primary school.
Yeah.
So it depends what you want, and it depends how long Yoshida's going to be with us. Like, it depends. Because I don't. Is his contract running out at the end of the year, or is it?
I'm not sure.
It might be the year after.
I think so.
Cedric's one's out this year, I'm pretty sure.
Because Yoshida's interesting. Because if he's going to be here 2-3 years now, like from now, we might as well use him in these games. But if we're not, and we're bringing Danto in to replace him, and we're going to spend £20 million on him next summer, like I'd quite like to see the pairing of Bednarek and Danto being built. And like that's going to be the pairing that we're going to have for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
Like that.
But do you think Chelsea is the game to try and test that on?
I think any game's the game to test it on.
No easy game in the Premier League.
We got battered 3-0 by Burnley and drew 1-1 with Manchester United.
Would you class United as a big team?
Yeah.
I think they're dangerous attacking wise.
All right, then we only lost 2-1 to Liverpool then.
There we go. That's better.
They're one of the best team in Europe. So.
Okay, so you guys want to see Danso play in the centre-back position then, yeah?
Yes.
I want it, but I don't think it will happen.
Okay.
I think Yoshida will start.
I think he will, but I don't necessarily want it.
I think it's unnecessarily risky move to put Danso in that position, but hey, we're just talking about what we want to see, not what we actually want to see. Yeah. So, left back, would you want to see Bertrand retain his position?
Yeah, keep Bertrand
no one else
in there.
Go in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and then we say about, would you like to see Valerie come back as right back and not Ward-Prowse fill in?
Yeah,
because an actual right
Valerie's
back.
Yeah. Please, can we have an actual right back at right back?
Okay, so then, so that's the back four then. What?
I don't know. When you said Bertrand, you said it was like it's a chore to put him in at left back. I still think Bertrand's one of the best left backs in the Premier League. It's the way that Harry and James.
I like Bertrand.
If Bertrand, when Bertrand actually plays the way that Bertrand's good at, he will be one of the best left backs in the league.
I think he's a very good player. It's just I don't quite understand what the reason for him being out of the team is. So
I think it's because.
What do you think it is?
I think it's just because I just don't always think he gives 110%, and he only showed it when he came on because he got drops. And like obviously Ralph thinks the same, or looks like he thinks the same, otherwise he wouldn't have dropped him.
Yeah, but I still think Bertrand at 80% is still probably better than what we've already got at the moment. I think Danso doesn't look comfortable in that position.
Bertrand at 80% at left back is better than Cedric at left back.
Yes.
Yeah, I still think Bertrand in that position provides he's good attacking wise, he's solid defensively. I think the reason, I don't know whether it's fitness or just that level of showing that level for the team. I don't know whether that was the reason he's left out, but if he is available to be picked, I think he should be picked. Yeah.
I just think we get so much more balance with having a left foot on the left hand side and a right foot on the right hand side. So when they do have the chance to cross it, they just cross it. Because so many times in the Bournemouth game, when Cedric would go down the left and he'd have to cut back or he'd pass it backwards because he can't cross with his left foot.
I want Bertrand is just because we don't actually have another left back that's capable of playing.
Right, if Jake Hogan wasn't playing for the under-23s, would you want him to start over Ryan Bertrand?
No, because I said he's not a capable left back at the moment.
Wow.
He's not a capable.
Wow.
The Premier League.
You know me, I like to add diversity to the podcast.
Okay, right. So we've gone from the back four then. What kind of formation would you want to see? Would you want to see two up front? Would you want to see Ward-Prowse stay? What would you like to see? Buffal? What would be the formation that you think would be best against Chelsea?
I'm not sure.
Two holding defenders, wingers.
Yeah, I was going to Højbjerg can remain in the CDM role, and I'd probably have Redmond and Ward-Prowse as the two attacking midfielders with. Actually, no, I'd have Ward-Prowse and Buffal as the attacking midfielders with Ings and Redmond up front. I'd stick Che on the bench for one more game.
Yeah, 100%. I completely agree with that statement. But,
Okay.
Cheers, Joey.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think Redmond has got to be on the pitch. He's one of our best attacking players.
Gineppo back yet?
No, I think it'll still be
about 10 minutes ago.
No, I had that, but that's not too sure. No.
Jamie, if you listen back further in the podcast, you'll hear us say.
Laptop
I asked that question, and you guys said about
my laptop keeps cutting up, so it goes in and out.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I definitely agree. Højbjerg and Romeo need to be in there. I think Ings, the way he's getting the goals for us, needs to be on. Redmond needs to be in there. And then what was the other two you said? You said Ward-Prowse and
Boufal on the wings.
Boufal.
I'd say.
Okay.
I'd probably go with that, to be fair, because Boufal, although he does lose the ball a lot, does create a lot of problems, and eventually he'll get another goal or another assist.
When would you introduce Che then?
Or Femi?
I'd say after about 60, 65 minutes, because I don't. Ralph sometimes leaves it too long. Not always, but like this season, sometimes he's left it a bit too late for subs. So hopefully he'll introduce him 65.
And if we're chasing the game, how would you change that formation? Because you've got 2 up front, 2 wingers, and then 2 defensive. How would you change that formation?
That's different. I'll probably just put Ward-Prowse on. Drop Resmond to the more of a winger position and put Chasms up front, because I don't think Ward-Prowse is that quick on the break, and I think the only real thing that he'll be massively in there for is winning the ball back high, maybe helping out the defensive midfielders and putting a good ball into the box. Saying that his corners this season, apart from the one for Yoshida against Tottenham, haven't really been to scratch. So. It's
if Boufal doesn't have an effect on the game, would Che Adams for Boufal be a reasonable swap, and then put Redmond off the left?
Yeah, maybe, or it's either him or Stuart Armstrong. I think Stuart Armstrong's been all right, but he's not really done too much this season. I'd put Shane on with 15 minutes to go, causing problems if we're still 1-0 down.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. So. Would you guys agree with that then? Have Redmond, Ings up front, Boufal, Ward-Prowse, Højbjerg, Romeo, and then the centre, the 4 at the back that we discussed?
I still don't think Redmond's a striker. I don't think Redmond can play up front.
No, I'm not overly happy with him being up front, but I think he needs to be on the pitch. I think he's still dangerous.
If I could play the way that I wanted to play, I would put 4-2-3-1, play Højbjerg and Romeo as the 2 holding. Either Ward-Prowse out on the right, Boufal in behind Danny Ings, and then play Redmond on the left. Because I think
that's what I'd like to do, but
Redmond's
I know
a lot more effective playing out wide and cutting inside, because he can do that role. He's better with the ball at his feet.
See, that's the format. I really like the 4-2-3-1. I feel Saints have used that formation for a long time, and it's been successful for us. But I